Controversy. A driver added his name to the 50-plus list. We've had a helmet thrown. The highpoint.com 400 race at Pocono did not disappoint. So let's hop in and talk about that. What an eventful race. I have no idea where to start, so let's just start from the beginning. Starting on pole, William Byron, big Hendrick guy, being a Jeff Gordon guy. I loved it. First caution of the game was 4 laps in. JJ Yaley spinning out of the tunnel turn. There's nothing to do there. It more looked like Yaley just got loose being in the back. So that was our first caution of the day. Lap 11, we get the first lead change where Joey Logano passes William Byron on that pretty cleanly out of turn 3 and wins stage 1. On the pursuing restart, Joey's team let him down. He's mired back in the pack. Well, the strategy was playing a factor. Teams were playing, so you had Byron, Larson, and them staying out. Joey's back in traffic. They're ping-ponging, and Joey, on the entrance to turn 1, gets pretty much right hooked and head on into the wall. Daniel Suarez was also collected. Both of theirs. Suarez instantly on the hook. He finishes 36. Logano tried to run a few laps. Ends up on the DVP. Finishes 35th. So, an eventful day there for those two. Short day. Then we get going again, and Austin Dillon spins on the exit of turn 2 off the bumper of BJ McLeod. But that's not the first and only time we'll hear Austin Dillon's name in the recap for today. As on the following restart, literally stage 2 at the beginning, we could not go green. Off the bumper of Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson goes around in front of the field. Surprisingly, does not get collected by anybody, which props to the field on not wrecking, avoiding Larson. Larson was on the front row of that restart. And it looked like the air more spun Larson, but it was just, Larson just backed in. Was pretty much fine. Bell got into him entering the turn, and then Larson just kept overcorrecting. Coming to 4 to go of stage 2. This stage was eventful. We get Christopher Bell spinning. These guys could not keep the car straight. That was out of turn 1. He was just all by himself. Bell just lost it. Just lost it. So, stage 2 finishes under caution. Kyle Larson wins that stage. And we start stage 3. The attention he's picking up. There was about 62 laps to go when stage 3 began. But Hamlin was racing dirty. He crowded Harvick out of turn 3. And then, with about 55 laps to go, we get another caution. Austin Dillon spins entering turn 1. He's pissed, and he throws his helmet at Tyler Reddick. Looking at the replays, it looks like Dillon cut down on Reddick. And looking at the damage here as I have it up on the screen, that right front tire, it was slanted like this. Dillon's day was over. There was no driving that car. But looking at the camera in turn 1 down the straightaway, Reddick was there. Austin just went right into him. So it's Dillon can be mad, but Tyler Reddick was there. So that was unfortunate. Couple laps later, we get Chase Briscoe spinning out of turn 3, making it with the restart with about 14 laps to go. And Bowman spins off of the front bumper of Denny Hamlin. Bowman running up in third at that point. Bowman's team was upset with this one. I watched the last 10 laps. So I saw it. Denny was there. I think Denny more took the air off the left rear quarter panel, and that's what spun. I don't think Denny actually made contact with Bowman. Being a Hendrick guy, and not, I know Bowman and Denny this season and past have definitely been going rounds. Hell, Chicago, we had Denny spin Bowman, even though Denny had no traction entering that turn. And then Atlanta, we had Bowman get loose and spin Denny and end both their days. So it's a rivalry at this point in my eyes between Denny and Bowman, because a couple years ago when Bowman won the race, Denny called him a hack and Bowman sold shirts. So I know the 48 team, they're upset with Denny. I think Bowman just couldn't keep the car underneath him. He lost the air and the car just snapped loose. Denny didn't make contact. That one's on Bowman. Well, we get going again. We don't even make it through the tunnel turn before Justin Haley goes around giving us our 10th caution. But before Haley caused the caution, exiting turn 1, Denny Hamlin runs Kyle Larson into the wall. Kyle Larson, not happy, meets Denny on the front stretch and drives Denny pretty much into the wall. Doesn't wreck him. Denny still runs. But you can tell Larson's not happy. And looking at the camera views, Denny drove Larson into the wall. It was a big impact by Larson in the wall. But you can look at the scenes on the track at Pocono, and you see Denny's just pushing up the track. So, 2 laps to go. And we get Ryan Preece spins out of turn 2. Doesn't make contact with turn 2. No caution yet. Preece is still sitting there in turn 2. Denny takes the white flag. And they wait until Denny gets out of turn 1 to throw the yellow. Preece does try to get going. But he having a flat tire, he's not going anywhere. So a dramatic race ends under yellow, with Denny Hamlin winning his 40th career race. Which, props to Denny. I mean, not 40, 50 wins, my bad. 50 wins for Denny Hamlin. That is a big deal. Let's look at the rest of the top 10. We got Denny Hamlin. Tyler Reddick rebounds after spinning Austin Dillon. You know Austin Dillon spun himself. Martin Truex 3rd. Kevin Harvick rebounds after being put in the wall for 4th. Ty Gibbs, quiet day from him, 5th. Christopher Bell 6th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. trying to get more playoff points, as you'll see here shortly. Working his way up. Harrison Burton, not a bad day in the 21. We got Eric Jones. Not a bad day for Legacy either. Coming back up into the top 10. And then Chase Elliott, who needs the points, gets a top 10. Rest of the big names, Bubba finished 11th, Eric Almirola 12th, and possibly his last year. He hasn't talked about coming back yet. Ross Chastain 13th, William Byron, the pole sitter, 14th. Todd Gilliland, not a bad day in the 38, finishes 15th. Brad Keselowski finishes 16th. Not a lot of speed from the RFK cars this week. AJ Allmendinger 17th. Chris Buescher 18th. Mike McDowell 19th. Kyle Larson, after that damage, ends up 20th. Kyle Busch 21st. Noah Gragson 22nd. Alex Bowman, after getting spun, finishes 24th. Austin Cindric 23rd. Cole Custer in the 51 finishes 25th. Not bad for Rick Ware. JJ Yaley, after the spin, comes home 26th. Corey LaJoy 27th. Chase Briscoe, after his spin, finishes 29th. Ryan Blaney just had a rough day, finishes 30th. Ryan Preece, with the spin, ends up 31st. Just not a fun day if you were on the playoff cut line. Let's just say that. Not a fun day. So let's take a look at the playoff standings. So how I have this is based off of what NASCAR.com says would be the ranking if the playoffs started today. So you got first place, Martin Truex Jr., who has a 1 point advance, 17 points ahead of William Byron. even though Byron has the most wins this season. If the playoffs were to start today, Truex would only have a 1 point advantage starting the season. Kyle Busch is third, not bad. Denny Hamlin fourth. Kyle Larson, 2 wins, is fifth, showing how consistent Denny Hamlin is. Ross Chastain sixth. Christopher Bell seventh. Blaney is eighth in the standings. Joey Logano ninth. Tyler Reddick 10th. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. bringing up the rear. So next week is Richmond. I want to say these guys are pretty much safe. Just because we have 1, 2, 3, 5 races left. All these guys are locked in. 5 races to go. We're not going to get more than 16 different winners. So if you're Stenhouse and Reddick and Logano, you're breathing easy going, we're in. Well, let's move on to the bubble drivers. So with this one, I feel pretty confident. Kevin Harvick is safe, 137 points to the good. I don't see him dropping. Brad Keselowski, 108. Pretty much safe unless we get a couple multi-winners. He's safe. Chris Buescher at 97. He's there. I think those 3 drivers run 2-3 more good weeks and you're virtually a lock. You're safe. Then we get to the true bubble. Bubba Wallace only 2 points ahead. It's going to be fighting tooth and nail for this last playoff spot. I think we might. The lines here at McDowell, Suarez, I think it might move up to Bubba. I think we're going to get one of these drivers that are below. I can see one of them winning. Mike McDowell's only 1 point ahead of Suarez. Dinger, AJ Allmendinger, 19 points behind. Like, he has a chance because we still got the Indy Roval. We still got the Glen. And hell, still got Daytona. And if we've seen anything, Daytona's a crapshoot. Ty Gibbs, 40 points back. He might sneak his way in. I don't see the rookie doing it, but you never know. We got Daytona. Daytona is such a wild card. Alex Bowman, 1 point, was the points leader, then broke his back, and yikes. Kind of a rip to him. And then Chase Elliott has 2 more drivers between him and Bowman. I threw him up just because I know NASCAR's most popular driver here. Minus 59, so he technically gained 1 point with his top 10. I don't see him pointing his way in. Chase needs to win. If Chase is going to make the playoffs, he has to win. I don't know where. Like, he's not a bad road course racer, so he could do it. But if he didn't wreck Denny at Charlotte intentionally, we would be talking. I think he'd be ahead of Ty Gibbs. I think we'd be feeling a lot better that Chase could make it. But Chase, bonehead move, might have cost himself a shot at the title. But not much you can do there. But those are my thoughts. Hopefully I can watch Cookout 400 at Richmond next week. That is the hope. So I can get you guys another race review. But I had to work today. So I more gave you the highlights I saw. There were 11 cautions. I don't think NASCAR covered all the cautions. But I will talk to you next time. Like the video. Subscribe if you're new. Check out Opinions of a D2 Dropout, as I was right this week saying Denny Hamlin would win. I will give you my pick for Richmond Tuesday when the video drops. And I will catch you all later. Peace.